A 4-year jail term is never the end of the road, especially in Indian politics. And Shashikala is getting a big taste of a huge swagatam during her ongoing Ghar Wapsi between Bengaluru and Chennai. As we bring you this broadcast, Shashikala's convoy, which departed from Bengaluru early this morning, is en route. It's usually only a 5-hour journey, but she's taking her time to soak in the crowds that have come out to welcome her return to Tamil Nadu just before the elections. She's en route to Chennai along with her motorcade bearing the AIADMK flag, which has become a massive bone of contention because of the symbolism. Shashikala, as you know, was the confidant and closest friend of former Chief Minister and AIADMK Supremo Jayalalitha. Hundreds of people, as you can see in these images, are greeting Shashikala as she enters Tamil Nadu and is now headed straight to Chennai. Flower petals have been showered at Chinnamma as she makes her way into the AIADMK-ruled state. Chinnamma is expected to reach somewhere around 8 p.m. At the Karnataka-Tamil Nadu border earlier today, Shashikala changed vehicles. She got out of her car and got into another car registered under an AIADMK party member with the party flag. No coincidences here. This is a very touchy topic for the ruling party in Tamil Nadu, because this happened after a circular was issued by the Tamil Nadu police warning of action if Shashikala herself in her vehicle had the AIADMK flag. So she found a loophole and got into somebody else's car. The AIADMK had filed a complaint against Shashikala's use of the party flag. So now the police cannot act against Shashikala because the car belongs to an AIADMK functionary. Well, what happens to this functionary is a separate story altogether. Well, earlier in the day, Shashikala first stopped at the Muttumari temple after entering Tamil Nadu to take blessings. She was draped in the colors of the AIADMK, red, black and white. No shortage of symbolism at any point on what is being seen as some kind of a big Vijay Yatra to bring Shashikala back home.
Well, we have finally reached Krishnagiri and it's taken us a very, very long time to arrive over here because of the support that she has. Every odd, say about 4 or 5 kilometers, this is what we encounter. You have supporters over here waiting. In fact, they've been waiting from morning in order to welcome Shashikala. In fact, most of them are actually, they call her Chinnamma. This is what she's known over here. There you go. You can clearly see all of them out there. For us itself, it's very difficult to proceed in front. So you can imagine how difficult it is when her vehicle in fact comes. And this is how it is over there. People dancing, people are happy, people wearing shirts showing Chinnamma, that is Shashikala, and also TTV Dinakuran. Many of them throwing flowers. There is music over here. This is the situation every 4 or 5 kilometers. It's taking a very, very long time. In fact, like these, there are in total some 53 or 54 spots or locations such as this where she will encounter in order to greet her supporters. And in fact, behind me are basically her cars, her supporters. They are honking, they want us to go. It's very difficult to actually move out of these areas. But this is the situation where we are. It's going to take a long time for us and also Shashikala to reach Chennai. VK journalist Madhuar, Nolan Pinto for India Today. Well, we have with us Mr. TTV Dinakuran over here en route to Chennai. So we see a large number of supporters have actually come out here to meet and also welcome Shashikala. Tell us about that.
Actually, no. I'm repeatedly telling Amma's real cadres and the public of Tamil Nadu, they are waiting her for arrival. That's what I'm telling always. And somebody from AIADMK told, Dinakaran is a single man. There is nobody in AIADMK. Now what he is going to tell, from Bangalore to Chennai, a lot of cadres with Amma's flag on their hand now. What he is going to tell, whether it is AIADMK cadres or AIADMK cadres. Even the AIADMK cadres, you saw they requested us, we want to receive her first because he is our General Secretary. Okay. So Mr. Sammangi, who is presently the Union Councillor, and the AIADMK youth wing secretary of that union. He only welcomed on the first point. Our Honorable former Minister Palliappan allowed him to receive there, even though it is his point. He is entering his district. He, as the Deputy General Secretary of AIADMK, he wanted to receive her at the first point. But when the AIADMK people came and asked him, he allowed them. At that point only, our aunt's car, no, there is some repair in the AC. So why the AIADMK, some office bearer who came there to receive her, she is traveling in that car.
Is the AIADMK worried about you entering Chennai?
Only you should ask that question to them only.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. Well, Mr. TTV Dhanakaran over there, en route to Chennai over there in that TT, very clearly telling us that Shashikala has actually got a huge support over here, and that's what you can actually clearly see. A large number of vehicles en route to Chennai right from the time she crossed into the Tamil Nadu border.
Rumor that BJP wants AMMK and AIADMK to come together, merge.
See, already you are told that is rumor.
BJP wants a united AIADMK ahead of 2021 election.
Now actually united AIADMK,
including Sasikala.
No 100% chances, okay?
Okay, so you are completely opposing Sasikala.
We are completely opposing Sasikala, and Tamil Nadu people also opposing, and no partyman in Tamil Nadu is actually totally the Tamil Nadu partyman also opposing Sasikala.
So let's just show you what this entire route looks like for viewers who may not be familiar. The distance between Bengaluru and Chennai is about 360 kilometers. The distance can be covered in just about 5 to 6 hours. I grew up in Chennai, used to drive to Bengaluru quite a bit. 5 to 6 hours is the distance. But she left at 8 in the morning and she's only expected to reach at 8 in the evening, 12 hours later. So that gives you a sense of how slow this convoy is going and how Shashikala and her team are soaking in the crowds, stopping at every place, stopping at temples, taking breaks to interact with people. That's what this return is really all about. Because from the Porur bridge, then near the WS company, another stop happened near the L&T company. Next it will be at MGR's farmhouse, then the trade center and Butt Road in Tamil Nadu, and finally the Gindi Dhiran Chinnamma statue in Chennai is going to be the final stop before Shashikala actually gets to go home. I want to go across now to India Today's reporters who are on that route with Shashikala as she makes this big high-profile, high-voltage return home. Nolan is en route. You can see he's in the vehicle there along that convoy route. Pramod Madhav is with me live from Chennai. Gopi from Vellore. Priyambada will be joining us in just a moment as well. Nolan, where are you right now? This convoy definitely taking its time and for a very good reason.
Well, Shiv, like you rightly stated, she got out of the resort at around 7:45. 7:25 was the time, the Rahu Kala. So after 7:25, she got out of her room. This is what we're told. 7:45, she left the resort. We were waiting at Atibele. It took a very long time, close to 10 o'clock. That is when she came over there. We are, as of now, it's about what, 5:10, and we are 100 kilometers still from Vellore. Imagine that, Shiv. You know how long it actually takes from Bengaluru to Chennai, but this time around we are taking forever. It looks like only at around 10 o'clock, if we are actually moving at this particular pace, we will reach Chennai only at 10 o'clock in the evening. But what's happening, Shiv, is this. Every few kilometers, her supporters line up on both sides of the street, especially on the service roads, to greet her, to welcome her, to throw flowers. So there's a lot of support that she's receiving. In fact, TTV Dhanakaran very clearly tells me that these are not just AMMK supporters, but also AIADMK cadre. He used one important word when I spoke, and I just realized that. He says, Amma's cadre, that is Jayalalitha's cadre, are the ones coming out here to meet Chinnamma along with their own party cadre. So And Shiv, I just want to mention this.
Yes.
I'm going to ask Madhu to show you those visuals. This is every time we see the police at different areas, they block the traffic in this way. So they allow Chinnamma's car, basically TTV Dinakaran, he's in a TT, and Shashikala's car to proceed. Then they use trucks, they block the road for about 5-10 minutes, and then they allow us to proceed. So this is what the police, Tamil Nadu police, have been doing every now and then at every particular main junction that we actually go. They stop us for 10 minutes, block the entire road. You have the carders coming out arguing with them, then they move back. So this is exactly what's happening. What the supporters here tell us is that the government over there run by the AIADMK is clearly worried about what's happening over here. And Shashikala is making her point, and the message is being received. As of now, this is what they believe.
She's making a huge point. I mean, look at the images, look at the imagery. And like the important point that Mr. Dinakaran also made was that this is not just cadres from the Shashikala camp, but also AIADMK persons, including the car in which she's traveling right now. She got out of her SUV, which is her own vehicle, and got into an Innova which had an AIADMK flag on it, and it's registered in the name of an AIADMK functionary. It doesn't get more defiant and controversial than that, given how the AIADMK is watching all these proceedings and is being extremely touchy about her use of the flag, etc. Before I go to Pramod in Chennai, I want to take you to Vellore, where Gopi Krishnan is also standing by. Gopi, what's the plan there? She's been stopping in many places. What's the plan in Vellore?
Well, Shiv, right now I'm at Kottapakam, which is one of the villages close to Vellore, right next to the national highway. I must actually take you through these colorful visuals over here. People have gathered in large numbers, just as Nolan was mentioning. There are gatherings like this all over the place, like every 2 kilometers or 3 kilometers. There are people who have gathered like this, and you can see this is actually a national highway, and right next to the national highway, you have such a big crowd over here. And even if you look at these pictures over here, they have erected some huge flexes of Shashikala. What is more important is the presence of Jayalalitha in all these flexes. It's mostly like Shashikala, Jayalalitha and TTV. So certainly they are playing the mind games, and as TTV was speaking or telling Nolan, it's certainly they are going to play the Jayalalitha, the Amma card. And you can see that there are quite a lot of people who have come here, such a good turnout of people. And on this side, you have the celebrations with the traditional chanda. And in the morning, some of my colleagues were telling me that there were some restrictions for using other kinds of drum or dolly drums to receive Shashikala. So they have mostly hired these people from Kerala. This is actually a traditional drum beating festival which is seen in Kerala. This is not really common in Tamil Nadu, but they have hired these people, and I could actually see that such chanda teams or chandamelam teams were present in many of the locations, not just one such location, but many of these locations. So this is a kind of festive mood in which the people over here are waiting to receive Shashikala. And as Nolan was again mentioning, it is we do not really see just the we do not just see the party cadres over here, but certainly there are more people. And we also have one of the ex-MLAs who was actually expelled from the assembly owing to the controversy. Madam, you actually எப்படி அவங்கள வரவேற்கிறதாக எதிர்பார்க்கறீங்க?
சார், நாங்க வந்து ரொம்ப கோலாகலமா 4 வருஷம் அம்மாவோட ஆட்சி வரணும்ன்றதுக்காக ஒரு போராட்டமா இருந்தது. ஸோ அம்மா வந்து எப்படி புரட்சி தலைவி அம்மா எப்படி நாட்டை காப்பாத்தி மக்களை காப்பாத்தீங்களோ அந்த மாதிரி அம்மாவோட
I can translate for our viewers. She's basically saying we've been waiting for a very long time. This is a person just like how Jayalalitha saved the people of Tamil Nadu. We've been waiting for Chinnamma as well.
தான் இன்னை வரைக்கும் நாங்க அவங்களோட இருக்கிறதுக்கு காரணம். சோ அம்மா வரதை வந்து நாங்க கோலாகலமா கொண்டாடுறோம்.
We've been waiting a very long time, and now that time has finally come, and that's why we are all gathered here.
பொதுமக்கள் யாருமே கலையில ரொம்ப ஆனந்தமா ஏதோ அவங்களுக்கு அவங்களோட கிராமத்துல அவங்க குலதெய்வத்தை கும்பிடுற மாதிரி ஒரு ஃபீலோட இருந்து காலையில 10 மணில இருந்து கொளுத்துற வெயில்ல இருந்து இது வரைக்கும் வந்து ரொம்ப சந்தோஷமா வரவேற்க நாங்க தயாரா இருக்கோம்.
It's a very happy time for us, and we are all like one big team, one big family from one location who've all gathered here for Shashikala. Yes, Gopi, over to you.
Leader is coming back after a long time, after 4 years.
Okay, please look at these images, ladies and gentlemen. The person in that car just now that you saw in those pictures is a person who has just served 4 years in jail on corruption charges, disproportionate assets. And this is the kind of welcome she's been getting every 2-3 kilometers in the 370 kilometers between Bengaluru and Chennai. Pramod Madhav is in Chennai with me. I want to keep these amazing images on our screen though, because in Vellore is another big festive welcome awaiting Shashikala. Pramod, where are these crowds coming from? How does one explain this? Dinakaran says this is not just AMMK cadres, these are AIADMK supporters who are turning out to see Shashikala. First of all, how do you explain these crowds, Pramod?
Well, Shiv, that's a question we also put forward to Jayakumar, the minister. In fact, let me just show this is one of the important points at Chennai where she's going to visit. This is the sanctum sanctorum for AIADMK, that is MGR's house, farmhouse, and this statue in particular was actually placed by here, Shashikala in 2017. And this is a place, imagine the AIADMK government apparently said that the Jaya Memorial has been shut owing to work, pending to work, and that's the reason, even though Shashikala wanted to go there, she was not allowed over there. Poets Garden, still a case is over there, so that memorial so she cannot actually venture into. But this place, apparently they couldn't do anything because this belongs to a private person, and this is a statue where she's going to come over and she's going to garland this statue. This is an actual plan. And when we put forward this question to Jayakumar asking, the AIADMK government couldn't even keep Shashikala from using the party flag because she was in a Toyota Prado earlier. Then what she did was that she moved to an inn over that there was actually a party flag, and that the car actually belonged to a person who is holding an AIADMK membership card. And the minister very simply said that there are certain betrayers within the party. That doesn't seem to be a strong answer because we were told AIADMK is a very strong party. Everybody will follow whatever the leaders say. And we also put forward this question that imagine this party has 11 steering members, which means 11 strong leaders, of which probably 3 leaders are the one who are talking about Shashikala until now. What about the coordinator of the party, that is OPS, who hasn't said even a single word about Shashikala, be it even her using the party flag, and there is no answer about it. Such is the present situation in AIADMK, and it definitely looks like the actual crowd is swaying either side, and currently it has gone towards Shashikala as she's coming back to Tamil Nadu.
This is going to be quite unsettling for the AIADMK to watch. In politics, things are always about spectacle, especially in Tamil Nadu. They're all about numbers and spectacle and, the drama of the visual. And Shashikala has certainly served up a very spectacular visual over many hours since she departed from Bengaluru earlier today. Pramod, Nolan and Gopi, I'm going to let the three of you go for the moment because I know there is activity going on where you are, but we will keep coming back to you once there is some action at your locations. From Vellore to Krishnagiri to Chennai is the route that Shashikala is taking. But apart from the spectacle, what is Shashikala actually going to do now? Because as an ex-convict, she can't hold public office or fight elections for at least the next 4 years. So what are the options before Shashikala? Option number 1, let me read them out for you. She can encourage an unrest in the AIADMK ahead of the elections. Nephew Dinakaran has already claimed that she is the AIADMK General Secretary, and all those crowds you see there, many of them must be, logically must be AIADMK supporters. So in that sense, perhaps she's already accomplished that mission. Option number 2, campaign for her party, the AMMK, in the upcoming polls. A poll win is unlikely due to Dinakaran's dwindling popularity, but they have proven to have a certain base. They made a dent during the RK Nagar by-election, so they can't be completely dismissed, and the Shashikala factor might make some kind of a difference. Option number 3, she can stay completely aloof till the assembly elections are over, and if the AIADMK loses, then she can step in, sideline EPS, and pave the way for her big return to the helm and the leadership of the party. Or she can, of course, there's always the possibility that Shashikala has had enough. 4 years in jail have convinced her, I've had enough of this, I want to get out of politics entirely. But those who know Shashikala say that's a highly unlikely possibility. Joining me live now on this big developing story, because it's interesting, as we bring you this broadcast, The convoy is rumbling between Bengaluru and Chennai. We understand that Shashikala's convoy is now about 100 kilometers from the city of Chennai, and we're wondering how things are going to be there. Will there be big crowds there? All of that will be live. Mr. V.A. Pugarendi is a spokesperson of the ruling AIADMK, who is at battle right now, as it were, with Shashikala. Suman C. Raman is a well-known lawyer and political commentator. C. Rajshekharan, founder, Voice of Tamil Nadu, also a well-known lawyer. Mr. Pugarendi, coming to you first, since you represent the ruling party, what are you making of these big crowds that are coming out? It looks like Shashikala is leaving no stone unturned to send your party a message. She has gotten into the car of an AIADMK official. Big crowds everywhere. She's stopping every few kilometers and enjoying the welcome, the swagatam that she is getting on this route. Mr. Pugarendi, how are you seeing this?
Good evening, sir. Good evening to India today. Then already she is entering after 4 years, completion of 4 years. Okay, no problem. Let her come. What is there? Already entered. She is coming to Chennai. This about crowded, you are asking this crowded, the various places of Tamil Nadu, that interior places, up-countries, all because Dinagaran functionary are there, that AMK, they have lost the deposit, contested the election, all they have lost the deposit, kind information, I was with him, I was included myself, lost the deposit, later I joined here. Then see that the people now gathering from various places to throughout Tamil Nadu.
But sir, Mr. Pugarendi, your party is nervous about her using the party flag. You've got the police to take action against her, keep a watch on her. It seems that your party is nervous about her return.
No, not that. See, one thing I want to see, this is the case. You know very well that the Election Commission of India already decided this case. Am I correct or not? I am also intervener of this case.
Yes.
That implemented petition accepts. That is, finally, the court means this all the three. The Sunil Arora Election Commissioner, A.K. Jodi Chief Election Commissioner, and Rawat, you know, that Election Commissioner, all continuously. This case was 2 months was over. I was in Delhi. The finally decided the said group led by Steve.
No, that's okay. The rule book is fine, sir. The rule book is fine, but the rule book is fine, but the body language is seeming nervous. I am aware. We covered the case, sir. I am just saying that the body language seems a little touchy. That's all I am saying. I am not, with greatest respect to you, Mr. Pugarendi, I know the case. I know what is happening on the ground also. But, you know, there are many people who are conspicuously silent within the AIADMK also, including Mr. OPS.
Sir, let her come. No, I am not denying, I am not objecting. Let her come.
Okay.
No, the warm salutation, warm welcome, whatever may be. I am not complaining.
Okay.
I am not telling.
Fair enough.
On the way. She is on the way to Chennai.
Fair enough.
Okay. Because the legal, no. One, two, another one dispute. Finally, what is the judgment? You tell me.
Yes, I know. AIADMK won that.
No MLAs, no organizers, no general council members, no executive members. So you are no even single MLA with you. So
sir,
what about the UP case?
Let's leave that aside for a moment. You're making that same point. I agree with you, sir. I agree. We are not at cross purposes on that. Sir, the AIADMK owns the two leaves. You own all the symbols. I agree. But I am saying the bigger point here is there is a level of touchiness with which the AIADMK is responding to Shashikala trying to usurp those symbols and grab those symbols. I understand why, but I'm trying to just get an answer out of you. Mr. Rajshekharan, short question to you. How are you seeing this show of strength by Shashikala? Is it meaningful? Are you surprised that the AIADMK is reacting the way it is?
Shiv, see, everybody forgets that the Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, Edappadi Palanichami, he was handpicked and he was the closest person to Mrs. Shashikala Nadarajan because there were so many contenders and it was Mrs. Shashikala who had called him, and by surprise to everybody then at Kuvatur, she selected him to be the chief minister. So in my opinion, she has not spoken a single word against Edappadi Palanichami till this moment. So I will not rule out if tomorrow or tonight or day after, this too, whatever fight Pugalenthi is trying to create in this panel, or whoever may be, or others, Jaikumar and all are too small, because he doesn't matter. If the chief minister wants to go and align and accept Mrs. Shashikala as general secretary, nobody can stop. So, as on date, technically, legally, she has proved that she is the general secretary by the crowd, morally by the crowd, and technically in the court. The matter is sub judice in the court. So let us not beat around the bush. People who don't like Shashikala will say, no, she is nothing. She is only alone. She is an orphan. She is blah, blah. All these people who haters of Shashikala.
Okay.
See, I am not a fan of Shashikala. But I'm only reporting as you are reporting, as Pramod Madhav, as Priyamada, as Shivaru.
No, very interesting.
I am just understanding what is happening at the ground.
Very interesting.
And responding to the situation.
You're saying, I want to pick up, Mr. Rajshekharan, I want to pick up on one point you made.
Shashikala is a reckoning force. She is the general secretary now.
Okay, you're saying she's a force to reckon with, and morally she has proven that she is the general secretary through these crowds. Sumansi Raman is smiling.
No, haters will say Shashikala is nobody. Haters of Shashikala are always there.
Okay, no, of course, no shortage of haters.
Haters are welcome. Haters will always sit in the panel and talk nonsense.
Okay.
So I am not a hater.
Okay.
I speak the truth.
Okay. Sumansi Raman, morally, Mr. Rajshekharan says, morally she has proven her sort of hold over the AIADMK. Do you agree with that?
No. I am not accusing anybody personally.
No.
I am only saying the haters are there.
Let Sumant answer you. Let Sumant answer.
No, Sumant is not a lawyer, he's a doctor. No, you introduce him as a lawyer.
Yes, my apologies. Let Sumant answer. Let Sumant answer. Yes, doctor.
There are only two other panelists here. One is Mr. Pugalenthi and one is me. So presumably he is calling either Mr. Pugalenthi or me or both of us as haters. Okay, let's not go down that route.
Yeah, tell us what you think.
I cannot answer the insinuations.
Yeah, Sumant Raman.
Okay, now, I mean, I don't want to get into this personal slanging match, but Mr. Rajshekar has tried virtually every other political party in the state, so probably he wants to try his luck with Shashikala and the AMMK.
Mr. Rajshekharan, one second. Let him finish, I'll come back to you.
Speaking what is happening at the ground.
Mr. Rajshekharan, let him finish, I'll come back to you. Let him finish, I'll come back to you.
Okay.
Let him finish. Yeah, Sumansi Raman.
Please, yeah. First of all, we have to understand one thing. What we are seeing today is the 3% or 4% vote share that her party commands. There is no doubt that she has that 3.5% predominantly, community-based vote that she has.
Right.
I don't believe that this represents the larger AIADMK cadre. Look, the AIADMK, she does not, the bottom line is very simple, Shiv. She does not have public support on a mass scale. Not yet. Whether she will get it tomorrow, that's hypothetical. She may get it. But at this point of time, she does not command large-scale public support. She may get some leaders from the AIADMK to cross over, people on the basis of old loyalties, people who are disgruntled with EPS, OPS. They could definitely cross over. There is no doubt about that. But the AIADMK, to win an election under her leadership at this point of time is completely unthinkable. It's not going to happen. I think that anybody who is
so you're very clear about
decent understanding of Tamil Nadu politics can tell you that an AIADMK in 2021 under the leadership of Sasikala having even a 1% chance of winning the election is simply not there.
Okay, so he's being very clear. I'll come to you in a, just give me 30 seconds, Mr. Rajshekharan. I'll come to you. I know you want to respond. One second.
I just want to rebut for a second.
Just one second. Just for 1 second, and then I'll give you a chance to rebut. Because Shashikala, most people have never even heard her speaking. She's known to be a very, very private person. She doesn't forget about speaking her mind. Nobody has even heard her speaking normally. But Shashikala a few years ago attended the India Today conclave. This was in the year 2017, before she went to jail, just a few weeks before she went to jail, where she talked about taking Amma's legacy forward in her first and one of perhaps her only interviews. Take a look at what she told India Today.
இந்தியா டுடே கான்க்ளேவ் வந்து முதல் முறையாக இங்கே தமிழ்நாட்டில் செஞ்சுருக்கீங்க. இது பிராந்திய மொழிகளில் வந்து இந்தியா டுடே எடுத்துக்கிட்டு ஒவ்வொரு மாநிலத்திலும் வாசகர்களை அந்தந்த இப்போ தமிழ்நாடு என்றால் தமிழ்நாட்டு மொழியிலேயே உங்களுடைய பத்திரிகை வருவது ரொம்ப மகிழ்ச்சி அளிக்கிறது. இந்த சேவை தொடர வேண்டும் என்பதே எங்களுடைய விருப்பம்.
It's also a moment for us to reflect and remember Madam Jayalalitha, whose memory everybody remembers very, very fondly as we start the India Today conclave.
Yes. அவர் இந்த முறை இங்கே இருந்திருந்தால் நிச்சயம் அவர் கலந்து கொண்டிருப்பார். இந்தியா டுடே பத்திரிகை மேலே அவருக்கு மிகுந்த அன்பு உண்டு.
Okay, there's a rumor that Shashikala might actually interact with the press in a few minutes from now. If that happens, great, we'll cut across to it. But you wanted to answer Sumansi Raman, Rajshekar and Mr. Go ahead.
Shiv, say, you cannot rule out the union of ADMK and Shashikala because as Sumant expects that Shashikala cannot garner votes for the 2021 elections. Don't forget the honest truth. Shashikala did not hold any constitutional office. It was Jayalalitha who was the chief minister, and disproportionate asserts case was against her. She was A1 and convict 1, and since she passed away, she was abated. But it was Prevention of Corruption Act. So according to that act, a person who does not hold public office cannot be attracted to be convicted. But going by that merits, it is an open and shut case. But the curative petition is pending before the Supreme Court, and it is not yet over. So the Supreme Court curative petition may go the opposite way. As now it is they have been convicted. It can happen. Anything can happen. So you cannot presume or assume something which is not going to happen or going to happen.
Let's not presume in that case. Let's ask the party representative, Mr. Pugarendi, is there any possibility? Is there any possibility, given everything that we've seen so far, including the conspicuous silence of people like Mr. OPS, is there any possibility of a patch-up between the AIADMK and Sasikala? That there will be an alliance between the two parties, or they will merge or join together for this election?
That 2 weeks before, the Chief Minister met the Honorable Prime Minister.
Yes, he did.
And came out and clearly told 100% not possible. 101%, 100% not possible. Am I correct or not?
Yes, he did.
He told
but in politics, things change, sir. That's why I'm asking.
In politics, anything is possible.
No. If
I'm not an astrologer.
Our headquarter, our Chief Minister, Deputy Chief Minister, and that our executive committee decide tomorrow, then it is possible or not. Headquarter must be decided. Your point is correct. But the chief of the party told in Delhi, 100% not possible.
Okay.
Ruled out. This is the thing is going on. One thing. The second thing, that Madam Sasikala not able to contest another 6 years.
Yeah,
you know very well.
That's
the
true.
4 years over, another 6 years remain.
But there are many things that she can.
Contest.
But there are many things that she still can do, Mr. Pugarendi. That's the point. The point is there are many things that she still can do without directly contesting an election.
Sir, that is the problem, sir. Sir, you are correct, sir. Because the misunderstanding, when appointed as a general deputy secretary of the party, T.T. Vidyanagaran, there is the misunderstanding between the T.T. Vidyanagaran to the Edappadi Palaniswamy CM and the party. This is the main problem, actually. See, now you are seeing that two type of the crowded. Then another thing is two flag. One is AIADMK flag. Another one is T.T. Vidyanagaran party flag.
Okay.
That this madam will lead which party, you tell me now.
Okay, fine. I understand your point. Sumansi Raman, can Shashikala damage the AIADMK in any way? I mean, okay, let's leave aside the possibility of a patch-up or an alliance, but is there any damage that she can do? Can she play spoiler?
Oh yes, I think that there's no doubt that she can damage the AIADMK. And I think that one of the reasons that, the BJP is believed to be quite keen to get Shashikala at least to keep quiet or back off until the elections is this 3% to 4% vote share. Now, let's face it, the AIADMK needs every vote it can get in the 2021 assembly election. It is facing a double anti-incumbency, being in alliance with the BJP, having been in power in the state for 10 years.
Yes.
So it needs every vote it can get. And that 3 to 4% of vote that Shashikala's AMMK currently commands is something that the BJP is believed to be extremely keen, which is why the BJP is believed to have held talks with Mr. Dinakaran even 3-4 weeks ago. So there is clearly pressure on Shashikala's camp from the BJP not to rock the boat before the election. After the election, all bets are off.
Okay. Yes. No. The fact that the BJP has had had some pressure in the proceedings is beyond doubt. I mean, that is definitely there. I want to quickly bring in India Today's consulting editor Priyamvada as well. She's been on the campaign trail interviewing all the big hitters. Priyamvada, your view, your reading of this big show of force by Shashikala, what do you expect to see happen next? Because she's clearly sending out a big message here.
She's just proved exactly the kind of woman that everyone had told her to be, a very strong person. Because remember the vow that she took at Jayalalitha Memorial when she had left for Bengaluru, and you see that she's wearing a green color sari that nobody can miss it, similar to the kind of saris that Jayalalitha Amma used to wear, right? So, and also the flag and the smart move of changing the car. Because she knew that the problem awaits her, and she wanted to send across a message by coming only with that AIADMK flag. And that's precisely the reason they quickly managed to arrange an AIADMK functionary, that to a ward councillor. Remember, Samangi is a ward councillor, is just not an ordinary member who has a flag in his car, and they ensured that she shifted to that car so nobody could question legally. And she's now going to be entering Chennai in another 2 to 3 hours. See, what is going to await now is Shashikala is ready for the fight, because the case is still pending in the Madras High Court, where she had challenged the General Council meeting convened by EPS and OPS on 12th September 2017. So that's one. Legally, that's one course of action she would take. Number two, she would definitely she can go to the party headquarters because the case is still pending. And my sources are telling me, in fact, when we spoke to TTV Dinakaran today over the phone, he himself said that her first agenda would be to go to Memorial whenever it opens, because they have to open it one day. They at least have to open it before elections, because that's a pride for AIADMK. So what's the point in keeping it shut? They have to open it because it's done by AIADMK. And then the next point would be to go to AIADMK headquarters, and imagine all the drama that's going to happen if Shashikala enters the AIADMK headquarters.
Incredible. I'm going to give the final word to Mr. Rajshekaran on this. What do you see happening in Chennai once she reaches? She's going to reach in a couple of hours from now, Mr. Rajshekaran. And also, of course, Indian politics is full of people who've had criminal cases against them, done some time in jail, etc., etc. Does that not matter to voters? The fact that she's just come out of 4 years in jail on corruption charges, is that a non-issue for voters?
Shiv, 2016, I was also, as Sumant never fails to point out whatever I had done in the past. He is very keen on that. I was a party to that Makkal Nala Kutani, and we tried that both ADMK and DMK are corrupt. So you have to vote for the clean party. So 4 or 5 parties joined together, formed an alliance, that is Makkal Nala Kutani. We went hammer and tong. We went nook and corner of Tamil Nadu, saying all these fellows are corrupt. Don't vote for them. You know how much percentage that combined got? Maximum 6 to 7%. And so Sumant will also agree, because he has been following it keenly. He is after me, and I appreciate him for that. And no wrong in it. So people of Tamil Nadu, not only Tamil Nadu, people of India are least bothered about corruption charges, cases, because don't forget Lalu. Lalu was having so many cases, and he was keep on winning elections. And Papu Yadav. So all these people people who talk on television are clear.
Now I just want to clear that up, because there are lots of first-time voters, lots of young voters in Tamil Nadu also. That's why I wanted to ask that question.
Shiv. People who appear on TV, like Sumant and myself, we always keep on taking jibes at each other, but we are honest. Nobody cares for us. And at least he has managed to do something on his own.
That's the reason why we call you on our show. That's the reason why we call you on our show.
And keep shouting that all are corrupt, but nothing. People are least bothered.
Okay.
It's the harsh truth.
That's a hard answer, but it's the answer that perhaps reflects the reality. So I thank all of you gentlemen for joining me here on this. I'm taking a very quick break. And we're taking you straight to the highway between Chennai and Bengaluru. Just about 100 kilometers outside Chennai, in fact, is where Shashikala is now addressing the latest crowd that has gathered for her. Let's just try and listen in. Live images coming in from the latest stopping point, pit stop by Shashikala, where a huge crowd has completely surrounded her vehicle. I want to go across to Nolan Pinto, who is in the convoy reporting all along this big journey. Nolan, where are you right now? Huge crowd once again gathering outside Shashikala's car. Hey! Nolan, can you hear me?
Absolutely. In fact, Shiv, she has actually, this is the first time that she has decided to actually speak. We are waiting for that. She has spoken over here now. Shiv, I can.
Go ahead,
so basically, this is the first time that she has actually stopped over here. You can see what's happening, Shiv, right all around me. In fact, we tried to actually approach her, but it's Tamil Nadu politics works very different when you're comparing it to Karnataka politics, wherein politicians are very approachable. Over here, things are very different. This is the first time that she has actually said something. We are waiting actually to get more information about that from the party sources, but this is it over here. I also asked one of the party functionaries, as of now, what time can one expect to reach Chennai? He said that not less than 11 o'clock, considering the fact that the state government and the AIADMK, that is, they are running the government over here, are putting hurdles for free movement by stopping them every now and then. And that is one of the reasons why things are not going as smooth. But this is the support, Shiv, that she's getting over here throughout the place. You won't believe, but this is what it is. Right the time she entered Tamil Nadu territory in the morning at around 10 o'clock, this is how it has been non-stop, Shiv.
Incredible. I mean, huge crowds. I can't imagine how long it's going to take now for that convoy to finally reach Chennai, where there's going to be even more symbolism by Shashikala, her nephew Dinakaran and her team at the MGR statue before she finally goes home. So there's likely to be a pretty spectacular evening lined up for Shashikala's homecoming in Chennai as well, Nolan.
Absolutely. In fact, this is what our sources tell us. And in fact, Pramod has been reporting this all along. So you have Gopi, who's now in Vellore, and he actually showed us how people over there are eagerly waiting. In fact, she was supposed to reach there maybe 3-4 hours earlier. But that's not going to happen for the next 1.5 hours to 2 hours, considering we are still about, 100 kilometers, I think. Say about 5 minutes ago, it was 100 kilometers to reach Vellore from where we are. And in Chennai as well, she's got multiple places where she's expected to go. But again, Shiv, all depends, because as of now, if at the same pace, at this pace that we are moving, we will reach there at 11 o'clock. We are not too sure if all her engagements that were actually planned for the evening, the supporters welcoming her at 7 different locations, will that happen or not? We'll know in some time from TTV Dinakaran's team. But as of now, the route that we are taking over here, it is non-stop buzzing with her supporters. It's just absolute. It's not madness. It is absolutely. Well, this is what it is. Pandemonium.
Pandemonium, big crowd once again. You can call it what you want. You can say organized crowds, curiosity about Shashikala, the person who was closest to Jayalalitha. Whatever you may call it, the symbolism here is undeniable. and it is definitely being watched by the AIADMK. Shashikala is back on the AIADMK's turf now, and things can go either way. A dramatic evening in Chennai lies in store, and we'll have it all for you here on India Today. But I'm wrapping up 5 Live with these images of Shashikala's latest big muscle flex in Tamil Nadu, just 100 kilometers from Chennai. Leaving you with these pictures. Much more coming up on the other side. Stay with us.
Hello everyone, this is Rahul Kamal here. Hope you enjoyed this video. For the latest news and analysis, like and subscribe the India Today YouTube channel, and don't forget to press the bell icon to stay updated.